Say, what really happened inside that roaring stadium in Tampa that left thousands of fans screaming without pause? Was it just another concert, or something far more explosive than anyone could have predicted? Before you dive into this story, ask yourself this: are you ready to relive a night so electrifying that it blurred the line between music and pure emotional chaos? Stay with this story, and don't forget to share your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe, because what unfolded that night might just change how you see live performances forever. The energy was already palpable hours before the gates even opened, as waves of fans dressed in coordinated outfits, holding glowing light sticks, and chanting in unison gathered outside the massive stadium in Tampa, Florida. The name on everyone's lips was Min Yoongi, better known globally as Suga of BTS, and from the moment anticipation began to build, it was clear that this would not be an ordinary night. The air buzzed with a mix of excitement, impatience, and an almost tangible emotional charge, as if something monumental was about to unfold. Inside the stadium, the stage stood like a silent promise of what was to come. Massive LED screens flickered with abstract visuals, and the lighting rigs loomed overhead like a constellation waiting to ignite. Fans filled every inch of space, their voices rising and falling in waves, chanting his name, rehearsing fan chants, and exchanging stories of how far they had traveled just to witness this moment. Some had flown across countries, others had waited years, but all shared one thing: an unshakable connection to the artist who was about to take the stage. Then, without warning, the lights dimmed. A collective gasp rippled through the stadium, followed by a deafening silence that lasted only a fraction of a second before erupting into thunderous screams. The opening beat hit like a shockwave, reverberating through the ground and straight into the hearts of everyone present. And then he appeared. Suga emerged from the darkness with a presence that was both commanding and effortless, his silhouette instantly recognizable. The crowd's reaction was explosive, thousands of voices screaming, crying, shouting his name as if trying to reach him through sheer volume alone. It wasn't just loud, it was overwhelming, almost surreal, as though the stadium itself had come alive. From the very first note, it was clear that Suga was in complete control. His delivery was sharp, his movements precise, and his energy relentless. Each lyric carried weight, each beat hit harder than the last, and the audience responded with an intensity that only grew stronger as the performance progressed. The synergy between artist and fans created a feedback loop of energy that seemed to amplify with every passing second. What made the night truly unforgettable, however, wasn't just the music, it was the emotion. Suga's performance wasn't a simple showcase of talent, it was a journey. He transitioned seamlessly between explosive tracks that had the crowd jumping in unison and deeply introspective moments that left fans swaying with tears in their eyes. His ability to convey vulnerability and strength in the same breath created a connection that felt deeply personal, even in a stadium filled with thousands. At one point, the music softened, and Suga addressed the crowd. His voice, though calm, carried across the entire venue, instantly silencing the roaring audience. He spoke about gratitude, about the journey, about the fans who had stood by him through every phase of his career. The sincerity in his words struck a chord, and for a moment, the massive stadium felt intimate, as if he were speaking directly to each individual. But just as quickly as the atmosphere softened, it exploded once again. The next set of songs reignited the crowd with even greater intensity. Fans jumped, screamed, and sang along at the top of their lungs, their voices blending into a unified roar that echoed far beyond the stadium walls. The ground seemed to tremble under the collective energy, and the visuals on stage transformed into a dazzling spectacle of lights, colors, and motion that heightened the sensory experience to another level. As the night went on, the performance showed no signs of slowing down. If anything, it grew more powerful. Suga pushed the limits, delivering each track with a passion that was impossible to ignore. Sweat, emotion, and raw energy poured into every second, and the fans matched him step for step, refusing to let the momentum drop. There were moments of pure chaos, fans screaming so loudly it felt like the sound might shatter the air itself, waves of movement rippling through the crowd, and flashes of light sticks creating a galaxy-like effect that stretched as far as the eye could see. And yet, within that chaos, there was unity. Every person in that stadium was part of something bigger, something that transcended language, culture, and distance. As the final segment of the concert approached, a sense of bittersweet anticipation settled in. Fans knew the end was near, but no one was ready to let go. Suga, too, seemed to feel the weight of the moment. His expressions, his gestures, even the way he lingered between songs suggested that this night meant just as much to him as it did to the audience. The final performance was nothing short of explosive. Fireworks lit up the sky, the music reached its peak intensity, and the crowd gave everything they had left. It was a culmination of everything that had built up throughout the night, a release of energy, emotion, and connection that left everyone breathless. And then, just like that, it was over. Or was it? Even after the music stopped and the lights came back on, the echoes of the night lingered. Fans remained in their seats, some in tears, others in disbelief, all trying to process what they had just experienced. It wasn't just a concert, it was a moment, a memory, a shared experience that would stay with them long after they left the stadium. Outside, the chants continued. Groups of fans replayed their favorite moments, their voices still hoarse from hours of screaming. Social media lit up instantly, flooded with videos, photos, and emotional reactions that captured the essence of the night. The phrase, "Tampa is shaking," began trending, a testament to the impact of what had just occurred. So what made this night so special? Was it the music, the performance, the scale of the event, or was it something deeper, something harder to define? Perhaps it was the way Suga connected with his fans, the authenticity he brought to the stage, or the collective energy that transformed a stadium into something almost otherworldly. One thing is certain, Tampa didn't just witness a concert, it experienced a phenomenon. And now the question remains, if this was just one night, what could possibly come next? The question lingered long after the final echoes of the night had faded into the humid Tampa air. Was that truly the peak, or merely the beginning of something even greater? Because as fans slowly made their way out of the stadium, their voices still trembling from hours of screaming, there was an unspoken understanding shared among them. What they had just witnessed could not be contained within a single night, a single performance, or even a single memory. The streets surrounding the stadium turned into an extension of the concert itself. Clusters of fans gathered under streetlights, replaying videos on their phones, their eyes wide with disbelief as if trying to confirm that what they experienced was real. Some laughed uncontrollably, others wiped away tears, and many stood in silence, overwhelmed by emotions they couldn't quite put into words. The name Min Yoongi continued to echo in conversations, whispered like a secret and shouted like a victory cry all at once.